Oh my god, I had it on the wrong microphone. That's amazing. I've just been streaming without a microphone for the last half a minute. That's awesome. Hey everyone. I had the desktop audio and the microphone audio uh, on the wrong channels. That's embarrassing. Anyways, hello everyone. Just give me one quick second to go ahead and kind of pull up everything that I need right now. Okay, there we go. Don't know why it took me so long to pull that up. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to find my stream so I can actually see the chat, but now I can see the chat. So pop out chat. Awesome, awesome. Oh, hey guys, there you are. I don't know where to put this. You know what? Actually, I'll just leave it for now. Anyways, hello everyone. Hey guys, it's me, Ritual Pin. I don't think that's right. Anyways, this is the Oats Season 1 and Season 2 recap stream, and I'm going to be basing this off of my own memory and a little bit of the notes that I've taken from last season. So, excuse me if I get some information incorrect, but I'll try my best. So anyways, before we even begin, let me explain what even is Oats, right? What is this? What is that trailer I just released a couple days ago? What is all this meaning? Oats is an object camp. An object camp is basically like a game of Survivor per se, or Big Brother, right? Those sort of games are called like live reality games, right? Live reality games. But if you do one online, it's called an online reality game, and it's not like as like real, but it's still really fun to do. In normal object camps, characters or people will make characters and have them compete as themselves, and they'll instead of having challenges, they'll do like entries, which are basically like drawing your character doing something, right? Beating the challenge in one way or another. Usually challenges are pretty ridiculous and cartoony because keep in mind these are like drawings and animations of these object characters doing these sort of things. Well, I've put a spin on that game formula by making it a murder mystery instead of a game like Survivor. So now, instead of doing challenges and trying to be the best one in order to eliminate the other people, you're doing challenges so you can give yourself an advantage and stay in the game longer, preventing yourself from being killed per se by the murderers, or if you're a murderer, to get powers to be able to, do certain plays and being able to convince the good team that you're with them when in fact you're the ones killing them. So that is the essential thing that makes Oats what it is. It's a murder mystery object camp, and to be honest, I haven't quite seen anything like it before. I would go as far as to say Oats is the first, but like I said, I've still been looking for a while now to see if anyone else had done anything like this. And the closest that I've found are games that sort of play off Danganronpa, for example. But anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and start the recap of season 1 and 2 with season 1, which is over here. All of the season 1 contestants. Yes. So season 1 had 20 contestants. I know there's 21 here, and that's because hand sanitizer had quit before the game started, so they can go away. These are the main 20, the main bunch that we'll be talking about today. So yeah, let's get started with all of the characters. So, gotta pull up my notes here. Anyways, first we got paper holder, then we got body bag, note, Play-Doh, ribbon hat, lucky rabbit's foot, citrus, Z crystal and keystone. These are two characters in one. This is a theme you'll see in the next season as well. Hourglass, scroll, painting, Leonard, theater, John Croissant, social media, Charlie, shooting star, Holly, glue, and Ouija board. All right. So character introductions out of the way. Let's get started. I'm gonna move them over to the board here. Oh yeah, and I forgot to introduce the. These are so neglect him for now. we'll get to him later. But these are the hosts. This is Libretto, the main host. That's me. That's who I play in Objects of the Slaughter. And this is Limelight, played by Dawn, the co-host. And so we run the theater in which the murder mystery is held as a play. So the murder mystery itself is a play in the theater, and the characters are playing as actors in this play. So all of the events of the murder mystery aren't actually real. It's all just for the stage, all just for the show. And I specifically want to point that out because I still think there's people, even today, who think that all of this is really happening. But no, it's all a play, and it's all meant to be a show. So yeah, the way that the game is ran is that there is 3 stages, or 3 phases per round. So we have the morning phase, which is when the body's revealed, and the vote is held to believe, or of who you believe the murderer is. Person who receives the most vote gets executed. So this is like a traditional type of object camp vote, right? The second phase, there we go, is the challenge. And the winners of the challenge usually get a pretty big reward, like power. Power in Oats is like the idols, basically. Once you get a certain amount of powers, you can purchase a more powerful power, I know, but that gives you an advantage in the game. Like, for example, giving you immunity one night, or allowing you to investigate a murderer better. You can even get secret powers as well, like, and those are randomized. Like, it's not like you do good or bad in order to get secret powers. You just have to be lucky, I guess, to get them. But those really change the game a lot more, and those are very specific toward what team you're on. There's good secret powers, neutral secret powers, evil secret powers, and they're really powerful. And then the third round, or the third phase, I keep saying round, that's crazy. The third phase is the actual, like, action phase, night phase, basically, where everyone with their role is able to do whatever action that their role gives them. However, in season 1, because this was like the testing season, I didn't really have many roles. The only roles that I had were investigator, medic, sheriff, and then the one neutral role, which was survivor. In this case, it was called the party crasher, because I like to sometimes make roles specific toward its season, and then of course murderer. Speaking of like being in theme, this season the theme was like a manor, basically, or like rich, or sort of just, you know, boisterous, I guess. I'm trying to think of a specific word, but yeah, it's like the theme this season was being like really rich, or having some kind of power, because the murder mystery itself was held inside of a manor. And that's why a lot of the characters you'll see are, like, for example, wearing bow ties, ribbons, more bow ties, stuff like that, because that was, of course, the theme. So let's actually get into the season, right? So the characters, they enter into the manor after they're invited by a man named Ghost Pepper, who had just bought the manor. So this was a house party for the manor. And they all, in one way or another, had sort of a small or large connection to Ghost Pepper. And so, of course, they accepted the invite. But when they got there, it was storming. When they entered the manor, however, they found Ghost Pepper's body strewn across the ceiling, and immediately realized that they were thrown into something they did not want to be a part of. However, it was a little too late for them to leave at that point, because the storm had caused the bridge in which they'd come in on to collapse, so they were trapped there. They tried to contact the police, but there was no cell service, so they were stuck there for a while. However, they knew one thing, and that was whoever killed Ghost Pepper couldn't have left, which means the killer would have been with them. And that's where the season begins. The very first day was pretty simple. There was no murder or anything, since that's the round that usually people get their roles, and I give them a little bit of leeway to sort of get used to it, understand their role a little bit. But like I said, there weren't very many roles given out. So the people who had gotten roles were Z Crystal and Keystone, who was the investigator, Scroll, who was the medic, trying to remember, Note was the sheriff, And that was all of the exclusive or like unique roles for the good team. The neutrals were uh, Leonard and excuse me, forgot your face already. Social media. Thank you. Um, and then the murderers were Charlie, Glue, Hourglass, and Plato. So there was only 4 murderers. And actually, you know what? Just to make things easier, I'm gonna actually draw a little like dot so that you guys know exactly what um, team everyone's on right now, just to make it easier for everyone. Bro forgot the quitters? Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not even there yet. I haven't even... We're just now learning about everyone's role. Dog, that's crazy. Dog, that's crazy. And then neutral is represented by orange. Okay, so that's everyone's roles. Or that's the team that everyone's on. For season 2, I'll actually put a role icons above people so you know. But for now, it's not a really big deal. So yeah, these are the teams. Red is represented as evil. Orange is neutral. Green is good. So the very first round... Oh, and I forgot scroll. And because they were blocked off. Scroll on the wager board. Let me read chat real quick. Leonard dies. Not yet. Hold on. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. So round 1 was pretty simple. And like I said, nothing really happened. But the characters did decide to, I guess, burn Ghost Pepper's body for some reason. To be honest, don't really know what the thought process was behind that. But I decided to draw a little artwork of that, which is what I'm about to show you guys. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the artwork for Ghost Pepper, but yeah, this was the very first art that we saw. This was also the first ever art I kind of technically drew for Oats as well, and so I didn't really know if I wanted to appeal to a certain art style yet, so I was just kind of messing around. Don't really like that one, to be honest. Not really a not really a great image, I think. But anyways, I digress. This was the day 0 called Disaster at Ghost Manor, and they decided to burn Ghost Pepper's body, as you can see. I think this is Charlie, Holly, Note, and hand sanitizer, which at this point was still in the game, but they quit shortly after, and I replaced them with Z Crystal and Keystone. Actually, I think I'm gonna go through all my files because I think that'll be easier actually. Let's get right into it with day 1. So, like I said, the morning is when the body is discovered, and so on day 1 there was a murder. However, it was quite an insane kill because the very first round, the very first challenge, a murderer got a double kill power, which was one of the secret powers for season 1, and that was none other than Charlie. Charlie got a double murder power and immediately played it. And so the murderers decided to attack both John Croissant and Citrus. However, at the same time, Scroll had decided to protect John Croissant, which means that the next day, John Croissant and Citrus was alive, but John Croissant survived, and Citrus did not. Citrus was the first person murdered, and I will show you artwork of that right now because it's a pretty cool one. This is one of my favorites from season 1 actually. So yeah, day 1, the day someone died. And actually, the thing about what happened this round that really shocked me was that Scroll almost didn't do that. Scroll almost did not save John Croissant. It was actually very last second. In fact, it was so last second that I actually drew art for John Croissant's death as well because I was confident John Croissant was going to die. But it never happened. So W Scroll. Everyone didn't have enough info, obviously, because this is round 1. So no one had gotten voted off yet. But a lot of weird tension had been happening between Glue and I already forgot your name, Charlie. Thank you. And Charlie, which is odd because they were both murderers. And honestly, for the sake of organization, I'm gonna quickly put everyone in the respective group for what team they're on, just so that we're all on the clear and it's not like too confusing. Okay, these are the murderers. These are the good. Oh, excuse me. These are the good team, and these are. Oh, let's see some two characters. These are neutral. Just so that we are in the clear. And you know what? I'm gonna size this down so that we can actually be in the stage instead of being on the outskirts for whatever reason. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. This is looking good. All right. So Citrus is killed, and that was round 1. Well, not quite, because we still have some more stuff to do. So after they discovered the body, someone else had come in as well, and that was Masquerade, the antagonist of Oats. The Oats antagonist. The Oats antagonist. He came in and he basically said, "Yo, my name's Masquerade. I'm sure you're all confused as to why I'm here. Rest assured, I'm not gonna hurt you all." Basically, he's kind of like Monokuma in a way. I base a lot of his design off Monokuma. And actually, this design was made specifically by Nevlin, the person who was playing a scroll. Very awesome design. I redrew it in Adobe Animate, but yeah, WNev. Basically, Masquerade is the one that's holding them there, but he did not kill anyone. He just simply likes to run the murder mystery game. And so he basically tells them the rules. This is how it's played. If you follow the rules, you might survive. Good luck, have fun, don't die. That's a reference to a movie that came out recently. He basically explained that they have to vote on someone to execute them, and so that's exactly what happened, but of course no one voted. So after that, it was night 2. The Oats antagonist, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure, absolutely. Um, Night 2 was pretty simple, pretty basic, um, because, and I don't remember the exact reason why, but the murderers had decided to attack um, social media. And the thing about social media that really upset me, I was like, dang, what could have been. Social media actually found a secret power, but I wasn't prepared for neutrals to find secret powers because I figured because there's only 2, wouldn't be a big deal. However, social media did find a secret power, and because there was none available, I had simply given social media an extra immunity. Survivors already come with 2 immunity in season 1. So social media actually had 3 immunities that he could have played at any point and survived 3 rounds, but he didn't play any. So when the murderers attacked him, he died. And that was day 2. Social media was killed. And so now everyone goes to vote again. Let me go ahead and. Okay, shush. Oh, now it's like really big. There we go. Social media is dead. And at the same time, this is really where things get unfortunate. At the same time, both Leonard and Charlie quit. Like, what are we doing, bro? I don't remember the specific reasons why either of them quit. I think Charlie quit because they were no longer interested in the camp, and Leonard quit because they didn't like how the camp was ran. They weren't expecting it to be ran the way it was. Of course, quitters are going to happen. It happens, right? Oh, yeah. And Painting as well. Painting also quit. Forgot about that. Thankfully, there weren't any too much casualties. Although I do think Painting was actually a medic as well, because I think there was 2 medics. So that was really unfortunate. We lost a lot of people in like 2 rounds. Don't know why. Really, I really don't. But that's what happened. So with Leonard and Glue being really like at each other this whole time, and everyone finding out that Charlie was a murderer once they'd quit, people were really suspicious of Glue, and that actually caused a lot of votes to be on Glue, but not enough for there to actually be an execution. So moving into round 3, I don't know why I closed the chat. Let me go ahead and re-chat a little bit actually. Passive Town PMO, real. They're so neutral. You spoiled season 2 for me? We haven't even gotten to season 2. Social media gave their 3 immunities to John. Yeah, so they really could have given their at least some of them away, but they had 3 rounds in their belt. In fact, if they had played it that one time and then played the other 2, they would have survived with everyone else. It's like, it makes me so sad that they never played it, because they would have still been in the game. But with that, neutrals are gone. There is no more neutrals. So the whole twist of there being neutrals, which is what I was kind of playing into this season, was just out of the window completely. Like the whole thing, because for me, neutral was a very unique role, because murderers could claim neutral, or good team could investigate neutral and find that they're not good team and assume they're murderers. And I thought that would be a unique enough twist to kind of keep things sort of mysterious and unknown. But because neutrals were out completely and Glue already has suspicion, things went downhill very quickly for the evil team, because on night 2, going into day 3, they decided to attack Lucky Rabbit's foot, and they were never protected, so they were killed. However, the good team got a little wiser, and they decided to vote on Glue. Of course, Glue was a murderer, so they got executed. And I also draw executions as well. When we have an execution, I'll draw it and play it out. So Glue's execution had him in this gearbox putting together gears while they're running. So he's trying to put together these gears that are crushing his fingers and hurting him as he's trying to do it. And these gears are controlling 2 walls beside him that are slowly closing on him. And so he's trying to remove these gears as they're crushing his fingers in order to stop these walls from closing in. However, of course, he doesn't survive, and he's crushed by the crushing force of 100 gears. This, of course, is a reference to Danganronpa, first execution, the name anyways. I think it's like like something about 1,000 baseballs or something. I forget the actual name, but yeah. After that, the evil team decided, and this, of course, only contains Play-Doh and Hourglass. They decided they'll attack John Croissant, because John Croissant was at this point running the good team and was putting together all of the members of the good team. John Croissant made a alliance with, it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was John Croissant, Scroll, Z Crystal, Keystone, Note, and I think it was either Ribbon Hat or no, I think it was Ribbon Hat. I think it was these 5. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I'm trying to do this. Okay, whatever. Yeah. I kind of want to like move them in their own little group. This was really the only main alliance that had occurred in Oats season 1, and this was the alliance that was pretty much picking off all of the evil team at this point. And so, of course, the evil team really wanted to gun after John Croissant, but of course, Scroll is a medic, and so Scroll kept protecting it, and John Croissant also had a bunch of powers that was being used to stop the evil team. And so for 2 rounds in a row, the evil team was not able to actually eliminate anyone, kill anyone. It wasn't until day 5 where they tried to attack John Croissant again. However, they eventually found out Hourglass and Play-Doh. Actually, I'm trying to figure out why Play-Doh's open Why are you open? There we go. Okay. Play-Doh and Hourglass. And I think they figured it out because Note was the sheriff and the sheriff's ability at this point was whenever you use your action on someone, you get three possible rolls that they could be. One of them is the actual roll, the two others aren't. And I think because Note had used that ability twice on Hourglass, uh, they were just able to conclude that Hourglass was a murderer because it appeared twice. And so they decided to vote on Hourglass, and of course, Hourglass got executed via a boulder. They had to, Indiana Jones style, run out of a cave as a boulder chased them, and eventually caught up to them, and they got crushed and killed. And the next round, at this point, everyone knew that Plato was a murderer. Of course, Plato still tried to kill John Croissant, but like I said, because of everything going on, Plato couldn't, and so everyone voted on Plato, and Plato was executed. And their execution involved them stocking shelves in this giant grocery store as fire begins to fill the floors, because the floors are these like gas, basically like propane gas burners, right? And they had to stock shelves to make a certain amount of money in order to stop the fires. But of course, they weren't successful because this is an execution, and they were set ablaze. And with that, good team was successful. They eliminated all the evils, and that's what was left. However, the game was not over technically because Oats still does have a finale style of game. So essentially what I did is I did a 3-phase finale, and what I did, the first phase was a quiz, and I quizzed the players on all of the events that had occurred, and I picked the top 6 from that, which included these 5, and I believe Holly as well. Excuse me, voice crack. So everyone else, they were no longer in the finale, and the only people competing against each other were these 6 players. And so after that, the next part of the finale was the actual challenge, and so I had given points. I believe Scroll had gotten first, John Croissant got last, I think Note got second, and I believe Ribbon Hat got third. I might be wrong about this, because I'm not actually looking it up right now. It was something like this, I'm pretty sure. And so currently Scroll was in first. However, the last part of the finale was a vote, and John Croissant had won the vote by a lot, actually, and because of that, John Croissant ended up moving up to first and actually ended up winning that season. So that was the entirety of Oats season 1. You might think that season 1 was a bit lackluster, and I kind of agree. There was a lot of issues that I had with the game. I didn't really quite have the formula down yet, and I was so scared of making the murderers too powerful that they would easily outnumber the good team, which actually caused evil team to become so weak that it would be impossible for them to win, because good team had so many good secret powers and just abilities that allowed them to just pretty much figure out the murderers rather quickly. And on top of that, situations including people quitting and outing each other on accident, all of that just kind of came into play, and it was really, really sad. So with that out of the way, let's really get into the juicy stuff, and that is season 2. Let me move everyone back real quick. Why are you giant? Why are you... Whatever, it's fine. So season 2 had the players get invited to... Well, actually, the players applied at a summer job for a summer camp, where Phaedre wants me to show you the hidden power streak. Actually, Phaedre wants to join the stream, so let's hear from Phaedre before we go into season 2. I guess Phaedre has some words.
Hello?
Hello?
My God, my audio is not working. One moment.
Oh, okay. Here, actually, I'll show you the secret powers that were played. I didn't make any others, but there was a +1 vote, half power. +1 gives you an extra vote. Half power reduces your votes by half. Safety power gives you immunity in a vote or at night, and then hidden power protects you at night. So those were the four powers. You'll see these in future seasons as well.
Oh yeah. Could you screen share what thingy?
What?
The like your screen for
You,
the
you just look at my stream. I'm streaming.
oh man, but then it's gonna be delayed.
Not by
Sigh. Yeah, not by much.
They're giant because you made the season assets tiny. Yeah, I was joking. I'm trying to find where this streak you were talking about is.
Oh, yeah, I think it was like day 5.
Day 5.
Uh,
I'm gonna have to scroll through.
yeah.
Stage directions.
I mean, I would just search day 5 in the Discord thing.
In stage directions. Night 4 results. Oh wait, I'm right here. Am I supposed to look at night 5 results?
Yeah, night 5, I'm pretty sure.
It just shows you played 1 hidden power. Are you talking about the one when you played like 9 hidden powers or something?
Yeah, when I played
Oh,
9 hidden
yeah,
powers.
yeah, yeah. Okay, let me show you guys this real quick. So, on night 6, John Croissant, aka Phaedre playing as John Croissant, decided to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hidden powers, and then Ribbon Hat Theater also played hidden powers, so that every person on the good team could be protected. This was the night before Plato got eliminated, so this was basically the strategy that the good team had, and that was protect everyone, and it just worked. Also, let me just show you the streak real quick. So they attempted to. Okay, actually, when did it start? Hold on. Okay, it started right after this one. Yeah. So on night 4, the murderers attempted to attack John Croissant, and Note had played a hidden power, as well as the murder prevention power, which was one of the secret powers the good team had. And so John Croissant survived. They then decided to try to attack John Croissant again. John Croissant played a hidden power. John Croissant survived. Then they tried to attack John Croissant again. John Croissant played a hidden power on everyone. Oh, and actually, Scroll was attacked this time. I forgot. But Scroll survived, obviously, because everyone had gotten a hidden power played on them. And then Plato was executed. Completely, I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Stupid. And then, of course, the finale was here. Oh, my goodness, man. What a stupid set of events, man.
I think I did well as a playtester, yeah.
Yeah, I think you did quite well at ruining the game. No, I'm kidding. But obviously there is a lot to be improved upon, I think, in season 1. But I did fix quite a lot of those issues in season 2, even though the exact same thing happened, just in a different way that I was not expecting at all. And that was by a person by the name of Checkmated. By the way, fun fact, if you make a game that's based off Town of Salem and you invite someone with 4,000 hours in Town of Salem, they are going to try to abuse your rules because they know the rules of the game way too well. But with that being said, let's get into season 2. Oh, these people are supposed to not have asset limbs. How did I manage to miss that?
I have no clue.
Eye patch face. Okay. So I had a lot of rejoiners, or a lot of people from season 2 or season 1 compete in season 2, because I wanted them to go ahead and try again with these like new rules, because I felt like, you know, season 1 there's a lot of mistakes. I want everyone to sort of get a real feel for like what I want Oats to be, and so that was kind of the idea, as to why I had so many people from last season play. I believe, like, my memory serves me correct, Matt was in season 1. Treehouse and Eye Patch was in season 1. They were actually Plato from season 1. Elia was in season 1 as John Croissant.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Harlow Bigay was in season 1 as Holly. Lantern was in season 1 as Z Crystal and Keystone. Stella was in season 1 as Theater. I think. Oh, Matt was in season 1 as Hourglass. Auditorium Stage Control was in season 1 as social media. Neighborhood Watch Sign was in season 1 as Ribbon Hat. Labris was in season 1 as Note, and then Amber was in season 1 as Scroll. So a lot of the finalists and winners from season 1 were in season 2 as well.
Also, the people who died early.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, Matt was Citrus from season 1, so I definitely wanted Map in season 2 as well, so that Eclipse could actually experience Oats. But yeah, let me go ahead and introduce what.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, Map is like one of my favorite characters in season 2 because of like season 1's stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's really fair. Yeah, people were kept joking about killing Map as soon as possible because they wanted them to be the first one to die again. I'm like, that's not funny, bro. That's too soon. Anyways, I actually do have notes on season 2, so thankfully I'll actually be able to do a proper rundown on everything that happened. But yeah, like I said, season 2's theme was survival, and this season took place in a summer camp in the middle of the woods, ran by a man named what was it? It was like I can't even remember
Fucking
now.
Erlenmeyer.
Erlenmeyer. Yeah, Erlenmeyer Flask. That's right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Erlenmeyer Flask. And so just like season 1, I actually gave them an extra round of leeway this time, where they can actually get used to the roles before anyone gets killed. So there's actually 2 rounds instead of 1 where no one died. But let me introduce you to all the characters real quick. So we have Map, like I just said. We have Ritual Pin. We have Treehouse and Eye Patch also playing. These are 2 characters in one, just like season 1. Fortune Teller, Elia. Lemmings, Lily of the Valley, Harlow Bigay, Lantern, Bentley with an E, Ley, not Ly. Stella, Brickphone, Botany, I Spy, Clipboard, Hard Drive, Radio, Spirit of Radio. Actually, I should have brought in the actual spirit, but this is what Spirit of Radio actually looks like. I don't know why I didn't bring in the soul part, but anyways. Monochrome Tulip, Pestilence Mask, Auditorium Stage Control, Matt. I forget if Matt has a last name. I don't think Matt had a last name, actually. Neighborhood Watch Sign, Labris, Amber, and Spigot. Spigot is such a unique name, by the way. I was like, Spigot? What is that? Anyways.
It is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
such
really
like
unique.
it's such like a unique name to me. I don't know. I really like the name Spigot. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and showcase all the roles. So the murderers this season, we're just gonna start with murderers. That it was Map. I don't think anyone on this row was murderer. Brickphone. Thank you.
The Monochrome Tulip, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct.
Labris.
Neighborhood
and...
Watch Sign, Labris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Neighborhood Watch Sign, bro.
Dude, yeah.
Oh no.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. The neutrals this season were Ritual Pin, I believe. I think. I'm gonna have to check my notes. Yeah, okay. Ritual Pin, Treehouse and Eye Patch, and Clipboard. And then the good team was everyone else. And I will get into the roles for this season because there was a lot more roles.
Wait. Good team was everyone else. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm so confused because the YouTube stream is like 15 seconds delayed that I'm seeing it and you're saying stuff that's like in the future. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what? What do you mean everyone else is good?
You might just need to mute the stream, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I do have it muted. Looking at it. It's like
I got you.
It has a 15-second delay.
My Wi-Fi could be a little better right now, I'm not gonna lie. I was checking the stream and it was like latency was gonna be like so bad and I was like, oh my god, but
no, I'm pretty sure that like YouTube streams are almost always like 15 seconds delayed.
Oh, that's true actually.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're moving over to Twitch. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Heck no, dude. I hate Twitch. Hashtag YouTube for life, bro. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna be like that either. Um,
No.
moving everyone over real quick, just so that we can kind of get a good visual of like all the teams everyone's on. Okay, there we go. So there's a lot more roles this season. Last season there was only 5 unique roles. This season there was like so many. So there was investigator, sheriff, jester, bodyguard, vigilante, jailer, medic, of course. And that's all of the unique roles for good team. There was for neutral, there was hitchhiker, which was the season's theme. So hitchhiked into the season, but those are survivor and jester. So jester and survivor for neutral. And then there was
Wait.
actually what?
How did they hitchhike there if they were on a
We
bus?
don't talk about that. Office reference. If you've seen The Office, you'd know. You know. Hashtag Creed is the best character from The Office. There was one unique role for murderer, and that was the serial killer. And the thing that I wanted to do in this season, so last season, the murderers voted on who they wanted to be killed. However, what ended up happening was the murderers kept not voting and forgetting and stuff. So I decided I'd have one role dedicated to picking who dies, and that goes to Neighborhood Watchline. Neighborhood Watchline was the serial killer. The other unique roles, Jester was clipboard, and the investigator was Amber. The sheriff this time around was Botany. The bodyguard was Elia Lemmings. Um, and I say that with a bit of a twang because that was most certainly coming into play a lot. The vigilante
Eh,
was I Spy. The jailer was Lily of the Valley. And the medic was Spigot, which also came into play a lot. um, so let's get started into round 1. I drew some lovely art for round 1. Oh, actually, sorry, hold on. I skipped a day. So day 0, there was a day 0 as well. Meant to reference day 0 from the first season as well. And this one was called Pit of Unforeseen Consequences, which a lot of people immediately clocked was a reference to Half-Life, and yes, it is a Half-Life reference. Unforeseen Consequences. It's what G-Man says in the speech at the beginning. So nothing happened. Yay! No, I'm kidding. Let's see. I know that the sheriff immediately, Botany, the sheriff, immediately investigated Elia Lemmings. And
yeah.
yeah, and I believe one of the roles that was mentioned in that investigation was serial killer, but it didn't really go anywhere. Amber, as the investigator, investigated Labris, and they found that, and I can't remember exactly the way that investigator works. By the way, is that you pick 2 people, and I will tell you if those 2 people are the same role or not. This was like the thing for season 2. Um, and so Amber, I believe, investigated Labris and Neighborhood Watch Sign and found them to be different. And the medic, a Spigot, protected themselves the very first round, while Elia Lemmings, as the bodyguard, protected Treehouse and Eye Patch. I believe that was because you wanted to prove that you were good team or something like that, right?
Uh, it was like something about like making a deal. I remember.
Yeah, because Treehouse
Like
and Eye Patch
if I
was a
protected them,
neutral.
if I yeah, if I protected them, they would give me protection with a power that they found.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So after day 1, they decided the murderers, these 5, decided to attack Lantern. Um, and I don't remember the specific reason, but I remember it was kind of funny. But yeah, no one protected Lantern that round, so Lantern was killed. Let me go ahead and show you the artwork for that real quick. I don't know why my bar won't work. I can't like pull up things. It's annoying. Um, Here it is. The second sunrise. And the reason that it's called the second sunrise is because, oh yeah, I was meant to show you this too. This is what the art for day 1 looked like. Quiet Hour. Um, I decided to go a lot harder in the artwork than season 1 because I don't know. I had fun with it. It was really fun to mess around and practice and stuff. But yeah, this was a shot of the camp. This is what one of the cabins. This is what the cabins look like. I just decided to draw like the fire pit basically. And actually, as a matter of fact, I might as well show you this as well, since it is important, and that is the map for season 2. This is what the map looked like. So they had the cabins, the cafeteria, the bathroom, the range, which came into play a lot later in the season, the platform, which is where they actually held the vote, activity area, which they went to. The activity area helped for the lore of the season, and then Lake Tango as well, and Tango Creek, which was like the water in the area. But the cabins is mainly where everyone stayed. This wasn't too big of a map, and um, the best way that I could describe the relationship between season 2 and season 2.5 is season 2 maps is GTA 5, and season 2.5's map is GTA 6. So yeah, season 2.5's map is absolutely insanely massive. But you guys aren't ready for that. Um, anyways, where was I? Yeah, Lantern was killed, and it was so sad. Oh my goodness, it was so sad. Let me pull that back up again. So the reason why it's called the second sunrise is because I kept mentioning that someone was going to die on the second sunrise, aka the second round, and so I kept mentioning that over and over again, like the second sunrise. Also, I I just started whenever I made this. I just started with the asset, and I'm like, what can I do? And I was just like, I'm gonna put a dent here. I'm gonna put scratches there. I'm gonna put more dents here and there. And then after I stopped what I was doing, I was like, bro, this looks so freaking cool. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, bro. And so I decided to like chain them up. And actually, I believe the idea of them getting chained up against a tree was neighborhood watch signs idea. So as a murderer, if you have an idea of like how you want someone to die, like how you want to kill them, like let me know and I'll try to like draw that as much as I can, basically. But yeah, this was, I believe, neighborhood watch signs idea, which keep in mind they are the serial killer. Anyways, uh, next round. Let me make a little sidebar there. While these players were in this camp, they started investigating certain things going on in the camp, and they actually went behind the cafeteria area, which was left of the cabins, as I showed you earlier. Um, and they had found something awfully strange. Speaking of strange, for some reason my taskbar is just not working right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Sorry, I have to go all the way back because it just kicked me out for some reason. They found like a weird like message on the back of the cafeteria, and um, why do I not have it here? Okay, I guess I drew it and then just never saved the image for some stupid reason. Here, let me show you some other stuff I drew though while I look for that. This is a totem pole that I drew. I drew this in Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop. This is what the power looked like in season 2. Season 1's power were like books, basically. Actually, I could show you that too. I guess like you guys saw that earlier anyways, but this is what the power from season 1 to look like, and then an absolute upgrade of a design, to be honest, between season 1 and season 2. Like, come on, man, this looks so cool. This is based off of Blair Witch Project. I think that's pretty obvious. It's literally like a 1-for-1 basically. Except I think this is upside down, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. The idea that season 2 that I had for season 2 were like cultists basically living near the camp and sort of influencing stuff in the camp. And the powers were like a sign of that basically. Speaking of
Surely
lore,
nothing would go wrong.
yeah. Speaking of lore, there is a lot of lore for season 2, which I'm going to get into for sure. Yeah, I guess I just don't have the image. It's fine. Basically, they went behind the cabin and they found in red paint written. It had a drawing of Erlenmeyer mask saying "con artist."
Erlenmeyer mask.
Erlenmeyer mask. Wait, what the heck? Erlenmeyer flask.
Yo,
Bro,
it's like the Michael Myers.
Dude.
Michael Myers mask. Dude,
Dude.
that's the true villain of Oats. Oh
Dude.
my god.
Actually, wait, hold on. I said I was going to do this earlier and I just lied to your faces. Wait, oh, it's not here. Oh, hold on. Excuse me.
What? Wait, what were you saying you were gonna do?
The role icons. I was gonna put role icons above people.
Oh,
These are all the role icons, by the way, guys. Shout out Trinitine for drawing these.
true. Oh yeah, would you want me to send you Oats music?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, give me a few moments. Continue talking.
Yeah.
There's no need to worry.
Actually, while I do this, I'm gonna explain some of the stuff that I had planned for season 2. So originally, season 2 ended way quicker than I had wanted it to. And originally, what was gonna happen was about halfway through the camp, I was going to have a debut, and that person who was, debuted into the camp was gonna have a unique role called the oh shoot, what is it? Basically, dang it, I can't remember the role name now. It had such a unique name, but the idea of the role was that they're allowed to choose any role from any previous contestant that had been killed prior, and so
Oh, so it's like Amnesiac.
yeah, amnesiac. That's what they're called. Amnesiac. Thank you so much. I don't know how I forgot
Of
that.
course.
The amnesiac, and so that was the original twist. However, because the camp ended so quickly, I literally just wasn't able to do it, and so what ended up happening is instead I had like a mega debut and rejoin, and basically just rewrote season 2 altogether. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Oh wait, that's right. I don't think Matt had a role. And also, let me go ahead and did I? Oh, jailer. That's right. There we go. Just so that we understand what everyone's role is. That's why I'm doing this real quick. I said I was gonna do it, and then I never did.
All right, I sent you the music, by the way.
I appreciate it. Let me stop this Minecraft music. No more Minecraft. Minecraft
What?
is over, party.
No. Minecraft is canceled media?
I have like no way of putting this in a
No.
playlist. It's alright. Oh, this is really loud. Okay, there we go. This song track is called Cooking Time, by the way.
Yes. Wait, let me listen to this. Okay, this one was like originally the day 1 theme for or like day 1 or day 0 theme for season 2.
It's fitting. It's very fitting. Because when the camp started, no one really felt like the tension yet. It was just kind of like everyone's like, oh, okay, here we are, and I guess this is happening. A lot less tension than compared to season 1, where they like immediately found this body or whatever. And actually, there was a lot of interesting dynamics that a lot of the characters had. Like, for example, Amber and Elia actually had someone they knew outside of the camp that they were able to bond over, basically, immediately. I know that I Spy, Lily of the Valley, and Brickphone all kind of had something in common as well, and so they all kind of hung out quite often. And another thing that I did for Season 2 was I allowed people to sort of... Because there was 8 cabins, and there's 24 people, it allowed there to be... What's the number? 4 people per cabin? Or, what was it? 3? No. Yeah, 4 people per cabin?
Wait. No, 3. It was 3. It was 3.
It
Because
was
there were
3.
8 cabins.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what kind of math I was doing just now. 20. Yeah. So I allowed people to pick whoever they wanted to like sleep, like whatever like cabin they want to like be with together, so that they kind of almost form these like micro alliances essentially, and it actually worked out really well. And I even had like a vote at the end of what people thought their favorite cabin was.
Wait, who won the vote? Even?
It was cabin 6. It was your cabin.
Ha!
This one's called Panic at Dinner.
Oh, okay, that one?
Everyone's making fun of me because I did math stupid, but it's alright.
No, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes.
Why is my taskbar thing so cringe?
I don't even know. Panic at Dinner, I think was for the night where uh everyone was in the same cafeteria, like in the
Oh, when
cafeteria, but
the
I
when the cabins burned down.
yeah, I'm pretty sure, but
Mm.
then again, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that. So basically, that was round one, right? Pretty fun. A lot of stuff happened, and so now we're getting into round two. Lantern's body is discovered, and now what had happened was a oh shoot, I have to like go all the way back now. Go all the way back to the oh the music
Bro
stopped.
has to go back to the ancient Egyptians.
Dude, for real.
Wait, did you are you playing it from Discord or did you download it?
I playing it for Discord and I just switched to the server and so the music just immediately stopped.
Genius.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you just now sent them, so I didn't even have time to download it.
That's
Um,
fair.
let's
How
see what I
bad
wrote.
is your internet?
It's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. So they found a diary in the area, like in the activity area, and the diary had a lot of pages written down about all of these sort of things happening in the camp before they showed up, because they knew for a while that Erlenmeyer had disappeared, and so when they got there, they didn't even know if Erlenmeyer was like dead or not, but they found his diary and it read, um, the pages written seemed to be normal, talking about fun experiences with the kids at camp and growth in the camp itself. However, the diary started to become more and more strange. Erlenmeyer mentioned feeling watched constantly, strange things changing at camp, weird unknown markings being left on trees. Um, and then, like, on the last page in the notebook, it becomes really unsettling, talking about like finding animal remains, weird wooden symbols and sketches being identical to that of the power that I just showed you guys earlier. Um, and of course,
Bro's gonna be
talking,
haunted by Slender Man.
yeah,
Collect my pages.
and of course, a cloaked figure as well, being the one and only Massacreade. And speaking of Massacreade, something else that happened was that after the first body was discovered, Massacreade presented himself and basically told people all about the game, everything that was going on. But also, there was something else. There was a phone booth, and whenever the phone began ringing, they picked it up when Massacreade appeared, and basically said that he would allow one favor for anything. And so the people who were there, including Brickphone, Auditorium Stage Control, and I think hard drive, basically asked for an ability to be able to recharge, because I know brick phones specifically needed to be able to be recharged because they're powered by a battery. That's when Massacre answered that by simply making the air almost electrified and causing brick phone to be charged constantly, just not needing a battery ever, basically. And so that phone will come back later, but for now, be aware there is a phone there. Speaking of which, none of them really had phones, because when they arrived to camp, they looked through their bags and found a lot of stuff was missing that they had thought they had brought. But when they tried to remember, they couldn't seem to remember anything between them getting on the bus and them arriving. Like it's if their memory of that happening was just gone completely. There was no memory of them getting onto the bus at all. And all they remember, the last thing they remember is them getting off the bus. So, not really sure what's happening there. Um, but with that out of the way, let's get
Players
into what?
the players checking their bag. Fuck! I just got robbed.
No, for real.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was really funny because people were very smart and they're immediately like, I checked for my phone and I'm like, there is no phone. And then they're like, what? Yeah, that was pretty fun. So, day two, this is also around the time, and let me go ahead and show you something else. So, the powers for season two were um, +2 vote, which gave you 2 votes, half power, which slashed your votes in half, immunity, which gave you immunity either at night or during the vote, hidden power, which hides you at night, and of course the knowledge power, which is one of the worst mistakes that I think I've ever made in a camp before.
Yes.
Because the knowledge power, when you play it on someone, will just tell you their role immediately. I thought I could balance it by making it 12 power, But also at the same time, there's 24 people. Each round, one person at least gets 5 power if you get first place, 4 if you get second, 3 if you get third, 2 if you get fourth or fifth, and you will always get a power if you place at least top half. So by round 2, there was already enough power if you combined it together to play a confirmation power, which is exactly what happened because several people started giving power to Elia Lemmings, and Elia Lemmings immediately played the confirmation power on Lily of the Valley, which outed them as the jailer. So everyone knew immediately Lily of the Valley is the jailer, including the murderers, because this entire
Oh
time,
no.
Elia Lemmings, uh, Amber, and Neighborhood Watch Sign decided to make an alliance before their vote or before their roles were even given to them. And because of that, the Good Team Alliance had the most powerful murderer on their alliance the entire time. And that went unnoticed for several rounds. So a lot of the information that Elia Lemmings and Amber was getting was going straight to the most powerful murderer in the entire game. Oh, yeah, that was
I forget what was the thing that I said. What was the thing that I said?
You mean like the reason why you thought that Neighborhood Watch Sign was
Yeah,
safe? Um,
yeah.
it was I am a neighborhood. Okay. Elia Livings asked Neighborhood Watch Sign, "Are like, can I trust you?" In reply, Neighborhood Watch Sign said, "If I were a murderer, you would know because I am bad at lying." That was the excuse that confirmed in Elia Living's mind that Neighborhood Watch Sign is in fact a good team member and not a murderer. That they're bad at lying.
I'm very gullible.
Dude, absolute crazy gambit. I'm gonna play the next song. Pick me up. Down 7.
Context for this song, the song used to be actually for my sign up entry, but then I was like, nah, I was being a lazy bum and I didn't actually get it done. And fucking it basically became like the night theme.
Okay, yeah. So all of this information going around really played into day 2 actually, because what ended up happening was that Ellie and Amber and a couple other people that were helping them found out or talked to everyone, including Checkmated, which was playing Ritual Pin, talked to everyone in the camp and asked what the roles were. The only person to have claimed a medic was Spigot, and of course Spigot was an actual medic. Because these 4 people knew Spigot was a medic, including Neighborhood Watch Sign proceeded to attack Spigot that night, and Spigot was killed. The only medic, the only being one of the only 2 only protective roles in the season, gone.
I will say, I I I really shouldn't have been so gullible, and
Yeah, I'll go
I
ahead
feel
and
really
it's alright.
I feel really bad. That feels like the most cheated death in my head because I'm like, should have been me.
It should have been me. I'm playing the next song, Settling In.
Oh yeah, that
This
one's
one
like
is day 2, right?
I forget,
or day
man.
1, like after Lantern's body was found.
Maybe.
I think so. I thought that's what, if I remember correctly, that's what you told me. Anyways. Oh wait, no. This was when Master Crade revealed himself, right? On day 0.
I could check.
And he was like, your guys are gonna die no matter what after the second sunrise.
Search from specific user.
I'll let you find that while I talk about the investigator and stuff. So, the events that occurred was the investigators Amber investigated Bentley and Monochrome Tulip. Of course, they had different roles, and so that was all the information they were given. The sheriff Botany investigated Harlow and incorrectly guessed their role. Oh, wait, sorry, no, that's not how that worked yet. Botany investigated Harlow, and Harlow, of course, being a normal good team. That was one of the roles that was given to Botany. Also, the good team name in season 2 was called the Counselor. So if I ever mention counselor, that is why. Um, Bodyguard Elia Lemmings protected Lily of the Valley after finding out that they were the jailer, and Spigot protected Elia Lemmings as they were killed. Oh, that's rough. Um, so yeah, that was round 2, and let me go ahead and show you the art I drew for Spigot as well. This is a really cool piece of art.
I agree. It's cool, but it makes me feel sad. I'm like, no, let's go.
So this one's called Pitfalls of Blaze, and that actually had a lot more meanings than one, but we'll get into that after Phaedre tells me what's up. Hello?
Okay, so hi. The settling in music, apparently that's from Challenge 2.
Oh.
My entry of Challenge 2.
Challenge 2 would have been before Lantern's body's discovered, though.
What?
Mm-hmm. Because there was Challenge 1, the roles were given, Challenge 2, and then the night after Challenge 2, or the night following Challenge 2 was when the first kill happened. Because remember, I gave everyone 2 rounds instead of 1 to prepare, basically.
Wait, let me look.
Because Challenge 1 was to restore the cafeteria, I believe, and then Challenge 2 was to restore the entire camp. Or no, wait. I don't know. Challenge 1...
I think you have it mixed up.
Yeah. Oh shoot, no, I can't remember. It's alright. Challenges aren't really that big of a deal, honestly.
Oh yeah, it was when Massacre Raid was revealed.
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah. You all have 10 hours until next nightfall. Don't sit and do nothing in fright.
Yeah,
things you need to do.
Massacre Raid was really messing with the people this season compared to last season. He kept showing up and just being like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And then he'd be like, "Haha, you're gonna die soon." It was really stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, round day 4. Day 3, yeah. Day 3, of course, opens with the body revealed of Spigot, and this is really when things started to take off because, there was a lot of things happening. A lot of the good teams started congregating and making a bunch of alliances. There was now an alliance between I Spy, Lily of the Valley, Brickphone, Clipboard, and Monochrome Tulip, and that one was an absolute force to be reckoned with, I'm not going to lie. There was also an alliance between LA Lemmings, Neighborhood Watch Sign, Amber, Treehouse Eye Patch, and Ritual Pin. There we go.
Dude, okay, I do want to say for that
as
alliance,
well as Botany.
That was so fucking scuffed.
Yeah, that to be fair, it was pretty scuffed. As well as Botany, because Botany and Lily of the Valley, without their control, but Botany was a part of that as well, and so they were trying to basically figure out all the rules here. Actually, I'll move Botany over here, as well as Treehouse and Eye Patch over here, and then I'll do Brickphone, Monochrome Tulip, Clipboard, Lily of the Valley, and I Spy. And so this alliance of 5, their goal was to cause as much chaos as possible in the most fun ways possible, and it ended up, we'll get back to them later, but a lot of stuff ended up happening from that as well.
They're evil.
Well, it is what it is. So I believe this was when the first execution happened, right? It was day 3, I believe.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna have to go back to the camp now.
But I'm looking, apparently, like fucking the dinner song, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Panic at Dinner. Apparently that was made like after Challenge 4 results. Or like during Challenge 4 results. I don't know.
That's odd. Let me go to day 3 real quick, because if this was when Monochrome got executed, then that didn't actually happen yet. Oh, it was. So this was so everyone decided that I think they found out Monochrome Tulip was the murderer with, what was it? Well, it wasn't a knowledge power. It was like
just deductive reasoning.
Probably.
I think like
Ritual Pin.
I mean, probably Ritual Pen, yeah. like they're probably gonna say in the chat right now what it
Oh
is.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Ritual pin,
so I
checkmated. If you know why Monochrome Tulip was immediately executed, I would love to know what the reasoning was.
I have dementia.
Monochrome got totem. Yeah, I mean, I'm about to explain that, but not yet.
Fucking a totem of a night from
Oh, dude, there's a lot.
Minecraft.
There's a lot. Yeah, I'm about to get into it. Don't worry, I'm about to get into it.
uh, from fucking
You scum red
Minecraft,
spigot as
man.
medic. That's right.
Um, hmm,
Okay, checkmated's not talking in the chat, but that's okay.
shaking my head.
There, because of deductive reasoning, they found that Monochrome Tulip was a killer, and so they all voted for Monochrome Tulip. However, Monochrome Tulip had something up their sleeve, quite literally, because I added a new twist to season 2, and that was items. Items acted as powers. However, after Mono got found out, they told Clipboard Lily that and who all the murderers were, which prompted them to add me to the alliance. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you weren't in the alliance yet, but after this.
What? What?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Um, we won't get into that yet. Basically, the items were like the big twist of season 2, or at least like something I wanted to. They act like powers, however, they're completely passive, which means like you don't play them in order for it to work. It just works automatically. And so Monochrome Tulip had the Totem of Undying, which you could probably guess what that does. If you ever get in a situation where you are killed, you become revived. So even though everyone voted for Monochrome Tulip and their role was revealed, they still came back despite the fact they were executed. So Monochrome Tulip is still in the game. That was a crazy round. The lore following that, I wanted to really bring some emotion to the table, especially for Libretto, because as a character, he didn't really. Oh, checkmate demon. Scum read them. Asked Amber to investigate. Sorry, stream delay got me messed up. Hey, fair enough. I also play the next song, Blood in the Air. This one was Lantern, right? This one was Lantern, Blood in the Air.
No, that was from season 1.
Oh wait, really? This was
Yes.
the reveal for Citrus, or was it Ghost Pepper?
Uh, Ghost Pepper.
Okay, fair enough. So this was season 1 OST stuff.
Yeah. From that song
So
to the
I guess since Sammy mentioned it, I don't think I was gonna mention it, but I guess since Sammy mentioned it, so yeah, the Chaos Factor, they immediately knew who all the murderers were, and they were not going to reveal it to absolutely anyone. In fact, they weren't even going to use that knowledge to really help anyone, which was really funny. And that situation is the only time I'll ever allow anyone to do something like that, because otherwise, it is just completely unfair. If you're a murderer and you tell other people what your like all of the roles of all the other murderers, and that is just like genuinely like scumbag behavior. But because they weren't actually gonna plan on like outing that or anything, I was fine with it. I kind of already knew what their plans were anyways, but it was a whole situation and it was really funny when it happened. But yeah, so round 3 had something that is called a meta challenge, which is a challenge that doesn't occur in the game, but instead occurs in the actual theater the play is held. Because keep in mind, this is a show, a thing, a play, right? What ended up happening was that a fire accidentally set the stage on fire. And so the challenge was to put the stage out, trying to, use whatever resources we had. And some of the best ones I saw was someone using sand. I think that was I Spy. And some people, like someone broke like a pipe and used the water from the pipe to put out the stage. There was some really creative entries from that one, especially. But there was a lot of damage to the stage, and Libretto got like really, really upset because of everything that was happening. Where's Libretto's asset? Oh, there he is. So he was kind of out of it after that had happened. And so that night, they still continued the game. Limelight was the one who continued the game because Libretto just started crying. It was, yeah, Libretto's a crybaby.
Libretto depression arc.
Yeah, literally, it was the depression arc. So that night, let me go back to my notes. That night, L.A. Lemmings, as the bodyguard, protected Amber. Lily of the Valley jailed Brickphone. So Brickphone.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't remember. I
What?
think, yeah. which gelling Roblox people. So that was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Dude,
I,
dude, dude, dude.
what? Huh? Yeah.
Season 2 as a player was so much bullshit. It's so good, but it was so much bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot that was going on. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Amber investigated both Labris and Map. This was also a night I didn't really take much notes for some reason. Like I don't even have written down who was. I had to scroll sideways. That's right. Okay, Botany also investigated Monochrome or Labris, and Amber. Oh my goodness, dude! Amber compared uh, Labris and Map. They were both murderers, and so Amber knew that both of them had the same role. At that point, that's when Good Team knew all of the roles, or all of the murderers, basically, because they knew Monochrome Tulip was a murderer. Map and Labris had the same role, and they knew Labris was a murderer, which meant Map must have been a murderer. The only mystery, oh my god, I can't speak. The only mystery was between Brickphone and Neighborhood Watch Sign. No one
Well,
had
I'm pretty
scum read
sure.
Neighborhood
Wait.
Watch Sign yet. No one had even
No,
investigated
I'm
them.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that like because of Spigot dying, we were like, oh shit, we have a rat.
Yeah, this alliance knew they had a rat somewhere. They suspected it was Treehouse and Eye Patch, but they weren't sure, and so they didn't even think it could have possibly been Neighborhood Watch Sign, which we will get into next round. But for now, 3 out of the 5 murderers already confirmed right out of the gate, and they thought that Brickphone was actually the jester, and they thought Clipboard was the murderer. And they did not have a 5th murderer yet, so they did not know who the 5th murderer was at that point. But um, with everything being said, the murderers attacked Amber. However, Elia Lemmings, being the bodyguard, protected Amber. So what ended up following was that, yeah, I know I keep pulling that up. My taskbar doesn't work. Elia got attacked, but they survived because a new addition I made to season 2 was critical injuries, which is basically like if you have a certain defense, but you're attacked, you don't necessarily die, you're just out of commission for the entire round. So Elia Lemmings, despite being attacked, still survived, but they just couldn't compete for the rest of the round.
Like I couldn't do shit.
Yeah, nothing. Like literally nothing. You couldn't do the challenge, you couldn't talk in live discussion, you couldn't even do an action that night, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't vote. Um I have updated the rules on this because Phaedre has shouted her
I
concerns to me
I was
several
so mad
times.
about it. I was so mad about it. I was like, I can't do anything.
I think it's fair personally, but I decided to nerf it a little bit. So now you can talk in live discussion if you want. Because it does make sense. If you're in recovery, you could still talk to people. You just can't do an action. You can't do the challenge. You can't, well, you can still do the challenge, apologies. But you can't do an action. You can't vote. Oh, wait. No, I have that mixed around. Sorry. You can vote. You can't do challenges. You can't do actions. Sorry, that's what I meant. So you can't do a challenge to protect yourself, and you can't do a night action to protect yourself. So you actually rely on everyone else to protect you in that period of time. You're the most vulnerable you possibly can be. That's the point of being critically injured, is you're incredibly vulnerable. So you will have to basically strategize with the rest of the good team to keep yourself alive, which is
Wait,
thankfully,
let me
yeah,
let me check the good rolls for season 2.5. How many of them cause critical injury?
one, just one.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking of Arsonist, I'm pretty sure. Which that one
Uh,
is gonna be insane in season
I mean,
2.5.
I'm thinking of arsonist, and I'm also like thinking of stuff that you've said for season 3.
Oh yeah, season 3 is gonna be crazy. There's gonna be 2 new roles that also allow for people to critical injuries, like the Maniac, which is literally just you can cause anyone to become critically injured any round. Oh my gosh, that one's gonna be awesome next season. Speaking of Arsonist, whoever gets Arsonist next season, I swear to God, if you do not ignite everyone at the same time on one round, I'm gonna be so mad, bro. If you die before you are able to ignite a large majority of people, you're never coming back. You're done for good. Sorry, you're cut. You're done.
Clutch your kick.
Like you're banned. Like banned from the server. Like you're done. Okay. I'm kidding, obviously, but I would love to see that happen season 2.5. Anyways, let's continue. So, that was round 3. No one died, thank God. However, 2 people are now. Well, actually, um, now Elia Lemming is critically injured, which came into play because Elia Lemmings was one of the biggest people organizing everyone, and because they couldn't talk or do anything, there was a lot more chaos this round, day 4. A lot more
Mm-hmm.
chaos, but something absolutely magical happened, and that was that Lily of the Valley, oh, Lily of the Valley, played a knowledge power on neighborhood watch sign and found out that they were the serial killer. And you know who they told? Absolutely nobody. Well, actually, that's not true. They told the Alliance, of course, this Alliance. So now they all knew
Wait, which alliance?
the Chaos Bringers.
Uh
So they knew. Um, However, after about a couple of hours, they eventually told everyone else, and that was when they were like, "Oh, that's what was happening." So now they know that Monochrome Tulip, Labris, Map, and now Neighborhood Watch Sign are all murderers. This is where things get interesting because they still think that Clipboard is a murderer, and they still think that Brickphone is the jester. They wanted to vote out Clipboard, which was what originally was going to happen. However, because of the fear that Clipboard could have been the jester or had some power, because there were certain things being said about Clipboard having some kind of ability to do something, people were scared of voting them out. So they instead decided to vote out Labris. And Labris was executed. Oh, that's the wrong color. No, not green. Green is good.
Labris was saved.
Yep. Nice one. Labris was executed. And let me show you the artwork for that real quick. Where the freak? Oh my god, I forgot to show you guys this. This is so cool. This was the original execution for Monochrome Tulip, and the execution basically had them their profession is the assistant. So their execution involved them getting pictures taken of them by like a bunch of people in an audience, and then a giant camera falls in front of them, and it has like a picture flash that's so bright it immediately burned their retinas and burned their skin and burned everything around them. It didn't kill them, so it just started taking a million pictures until they were just nothing but a burnt crisp. Really cool idea for an execution. I absolutely love this one. But of course, they survived that. Let me show you what Labris's execution was. So Labris was dropped into a field of flowers, and because Labris really likes butterflies and flowers and all that kind of stuff, they started galloping through the fields when suddenly they found a butterfly that seemed to have been made out of razors itself. And out of nowhere, a bunch of more of these butterflies started flying around them, and eventually Labris was completely swarmed by these butterflies made of razors, and they started flying around Labris until there was absolutely nothing left but just like shavings, basically. And of course, this is called the Garden of Razors. Really cool execution as well. So let's get into it. So I think this day was the day they started to really figure out stuff that was going on in camp. They were finding these pieces of glass that had numbers written down on it. Um, they investigated the activity area more, and they found. Oh, I know. Matt found this like piece of glass, basically. Let me go ahead and pull that up because I actually do have the artwork for that. It was a piece of glass that had these weird shavings on it, marked into it, and then an X mark with like a red like Sharpie marked right here. They didn't really know what it was used for yet, but it was good to keep note of that. Um, I don't think there was much else lore wise that was discovered because this was not the cave yet. That was day 6, I believe, was the cave. I'm pretty sure, right? Phaedre? I think Phaedre is dead. Oh yeah. Can I ask what NW execution could have been? We'll get there. I'll mention it once we get there. Let's see. This song is called Wineglass and Moss Crumbs. This was also a season 1 song. I got more messages from Checkmated. The evil group chat was created at this point. The bodyguard happened after evil group chat. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So the evil group chat, that was, there's so many group chats. It was really hard to keep track of. But basically, it was just portions of these people. And there was also a server that was made that basically included everyone, including people like Brickphone. Or not Brickphone. It was everyone except for the murderers, Clipboard, and I think just like a couple of people from Good Team that weren't really involved very much in like the strategy. I'm gonna go ahead and check the stream, what everyone's saying. Fake knowledge check was so clutch. That's crazy. Eclipse, it's okay. I can replace Faye. Remember to point out I was put in evil group chat and knew all the murderers. Did that actually happen? I don't remember if that actually happened. I actually genuinely, I don't remember if that actually happened or not. If that did happen, that is absolutely crazy. But yeah, there was like an evil group chat. There's a lot going on. There was a lot of group chats being made and being abandoned very quickly, and the evil group chat was one of them. But at this point, a lot of the neutral team started acting as a neutral team for once and flipping pretty much between evil and good, both including Treehouse and Ritual Pin. And I remember Ritual Pin's excuse was that everything that was happening at this point was so BS, including the whole situation with the neighborhood watch time, that he just decided, I don't really care. Just started playing for both sides at that point, which was a part of the evil group chat. They kicked me out a day later. That's right. Okay, yeah. You were added, you kicked out. That's true. Creepily, hello. Hello, hard drive. What is this there to say about day 3? Or day 4, sorry. Not much. I'm gonna play this last song and then we'll get back to Minecraft music. Justice's house? I think this was the music that played whenever they had the first like vote, I'm pretty sure. Or whenever Glue got eliminated, something like that. So this round the jailer decided to jail Botany because at this point Lily of the Valley was playing more for the murderers than the good team, which fair enough. The good team was really making some really strange strides, I'm not gonna lie. This music's very loud. Let me turn this down. Okay. I see that Jester play right there. That's crazy. I Spy is the vigilante. Wait. I don't have written down who they attacked. Why did I do that? Dog. I'm crazy, man. I'm just crazy like that. What can I say? So that night, I Spy as a vigilante shot someone, and I'll get into that soon of who they shot. But Map as a murderer played a secret murder power, the copycat power. It didn't really go anywhere, but it was a good idea, you know. It was a nice little thing they did. I'm gonna continue with the Minecraft music now. The dagger, yeah, we'll get into the dagger. So there was another power or another item called the ritual dagger, and basically the way that it worked is that when you're holding the ritual dagger and you execute people, you send them to their execution, it gets a charge. If you get 2 charges, you can use it to revive someone that's already been dead before. This was my way of having a rejoin in season 2, basically. And originally Neighborhood Watch Sign had it, but eventually Clipboard convinced Neighborhood Watch Sign to let them hold on to it. And then what followed was pretty sad, but basically that night the murderers decided to attack Spirit of Radio, and Spirit of Radio was hold on. Are you holding? Spirit of Radio was killed. The rock in the impasse. However, that wasn't the only thing that happened that night, because I Spy's the Vigilante also shot their bullet, and the person they shot was Neighborhood Watch Sign, who had just given away the ritual dagger. So now 2 people were dead. Spirit of Radio, who was a good team, and Neighborhood Watch Sign, who was a serial killer. The way that serial killer works is that if you die as a serial killer, your role will be randomly given to another murderer, and that person was Brickphone. So Brickphone was now the new serial killer. The murderers only had 3 people left, and there were so many other people left still in the game. That round was really crazy because they had just found out that Neighborhood Watch Sign was a serial killer. I Spy killed Neighborhood Watch Sign. A item was traded right before that had happened, and now is in the hands of Clipboard. And people still think that Brickphone is the jester and Clipboard is the murderer, but thankfully, what happened after on day 5 changed everyone's minds. Actually, the twist on day 5 was really interesting because if you remember earlier when I mentioned the piece of glass, they realized that this piece of glass actually lined up perfectly with the mountain range that I had mentioned earlier on the map, and that this X must be a place they need to go to continue the story of this camp. So they go into the area they believe, they line it up, they find exactly where this X is at, and they go to the area where they find a strange arch with a weird set of words on it. These words ended up being galactic alphabet, which they translated into saying the word masquerade. Upon saying that, the door opened and they were inside of a cave. When they entered the cave, they found backpacks and tents and stuff all strewn in this cave, with these glowing text on the wall, or glowing pictures on the wall, basically, that depicted masquerade absorbing souls, and like creating this weird, like mystical, like cloud area looking thing. However, they didn't have enough time to focus on that because they heard something in the distance inside the cave. They heard rustling. When they ran after it, they found someone wearing this weird cultist cloak who called himself Ezekiel. He seemed really scared, and he explained that Masquerade basically had been orchestrating everything the whole time. There was a bunch of cultists that were sent here to basically make the place available for Masquerade to come in and take over. And one of the things that they did was leave markings on trees, make these weird symbols, and leave them everywhere, but also to kill Erlenmeyer Flask. And so basically Ezekiel was revealing all this stuff and said that one night Masquerade said that they needed to perform some ritual, and while they were doing this, Ezekiel had to go and use the bathroom. When he'd come back, he had found that Masquerade started absorbing the souls of all the people doing the ritual, and they had died. Ezekiel ran off because he was scared. He didn't want to die, of course. But immediately following that was the start of the Oats season, when everyone had arrived. Because what happened was that Masquerade, when he absorbed the souls, used the power from the souls to basically make this place its own little pocket dimension, this whole camp, essentially. He caused all of the people who were supposed to come in to enter that pocket dimension. So the moment they entered, they were trapped there. They could not leave. And that was when the game actually started, as Ezekiel explained to them. However, before what's up?
Hi. Sorry. It's okay if I go?
Yeah, you're good. You can go.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. I hope you have fun, and hi everyone in the Oats stream. Bye everyone in the Oats stream.
Bye.
Also bye Trinitine. Bye.
Okay, so yeah. Basically that was the start of the season, and that was a lot of lore to get behind. However, they also found the last glass shard that completed this phone number, essentially. As they realized, and they knew that there's one phone in the camp that they can use this phone number at, and that's the phone next to the stage, the same one that they had used to summon Masquerade. However, they didn't know how to activate the phone, but with every execution that had happened, the 2 executions previously, they were given 2 coins. These were called soul coins, and they realized they could actually use those coins on the phone. So when their plan was, when they got back, they would use the code, the phone number, use the coins to call the number to see what was going on, because as it was revealed, Erlenmeyer Flask actually left a phone number of a certain organization that could possibly help them get out. But of course, because Erlenmeyer Flask was killed and his parts were scattered across the camp, it was really hard for them to find that phone number. But now that they finally have it, they can leave and call him. However, before they can do that, suddenly Masquerade shows up and collapses the cave on them, trapping everyone inside. Before that happened, however, two groups decided to go down one. Or there was two groups that were formed. One went down one path and one that went down the other. And as that happened, that's when the cave started collapsing. So the two groups were actually separated. And that was the twist for this round. There were two different groups, and the way that it worked is that the only people you can interact with are the people in your own group, which means that the people in the other group you cannot perform actions on, you cannot do anything. And also, there was going to be one kill per group, which means that two people were going to die instead of one. So this was a pretty chaotic round. And let me explain what happened. Amber investigated Bentley and Matt, finding out that they were both the same role, confirming both of them as counselor. Hard Drive played the murder prevention power, the same secret power from season 1, meaning that everyone in group A was safe from being murdered. However, everyone from group B can still be killed. Actually, let me just go ahead and mention what groups people were in. So in group A, it was Auditorium Stage Control, Botany, Brick Phone, Elia Lemmings, Hard Drive, I Spy, Map, Pestilence Mask, and Ritual Pin. In group B, it was Amber, Bentley, Clipboard, Fortune Teller, Harlow, Bigay, Lily of the Valley, Matt, and Treehouse and Eye Patch, and Stella. And so those were the two groups. So everyone in group B that I just mentioned were still able to be killed. And that will be important in a little bit. However, for the for the vote that had happened, everyone had once again voted on Monochrome Tulip. Of course, Monochrome Tulip was actually killed this time. And Monochrome Tulip received the execution that... Oh, wait. Oh, my God. I completely messed that up. No, that's not what happened. Excuse me. Pardon me. How dare I get that information wrong? No. They didn't vote for Monochrome Tulip. What actually happened was that they voted for Clipboard, who they thought was the other murderer. But Clipboard is actually the jester. And so Clipboard, the jester's role is that if everyone votes you out, you can actually, instead of getting yourself executed, get someone else executed in your place. And Clipboard decided to have Monochrome Tulip take their place, which meant that despite everyone voting for Clipboard, Monochrome Tulip was actually the one who got executed. And that execution that I just showed you, and I'll show it again real quick, that execution was the execution that was meant to be for Clipboard, but was actually meant for Monochrome Tulip. Or did I have that backwards? I think I had that backwards. This one was supposed to be for Clipboard. This one was the original Monochrome Tulip execution. Forgive me. Anyways, what happened in this one is that Monochrome Tulip was run over by this giant robot that told Monochrome Tulip that it's supposed to serve. That's its goal. Its job is to serve. And it ran it over until it was crushed into bits. But yeah, basically just flip-flop those two in your mind. I apologize. That's a mistake that I made. That was a crazy round. That was the craziest round. And as a matter of fact, I have a funny little thing that I need to show you guys. Absolute craziness. This is the votes for this round. L.A. Lemmings played 3 extra votes. Amber played an extra vote. Botany played an extra vote. And Fortune Taylor played an extra vote. And, yeah, that's a lot of votes. Actually, as a matter of fact, Clipboard received 28 votes, which is 4 more than there are even players from the beginning of the season. There's 24 players to begin with. Clipboard received 28 votes. This is an absolute, like, oh my, I can't even begin to describe, because every single time you play one of these powers, you get an extra 2 votes instead of 1. So you get 3 altogether. Playing 3 of these gives you 8 votes. Like, what are we doing, bro? What? Or sorry, 7 votes, not 8. 7 votes. Oh my god, absolute insane elimination, bro. But of course, Penny Clipboard being the jester got Monochrome Tulip out. Absolutely insane elimination. Let's keep going, guys. We're being really slow at this, but oh my god. Anyways, yeah, like I said, Amber investigated Matt and Bentley, finding both of them to be safe. Elia Lemmings protected Bonnie, because keep in mind everyone in group, group A, everyone was safe, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But Botany also investigated Brickphone as the sheriff and found them to be the serial killer, and so the plan was to execute Brickphone the night following. Keep in mind there was going to be 2 kills, but because of the murder prevention power was played on Group A, everyone in Group A was safe. So the only people who could be killed were people from Group B. And unfortunately, that person was Matt. And this day was called Tides of War because at this point it was going to be good team versus evil team with everyone knowing who's who. So it'd be an all-out brawl at this point. This is a really unique kill. This this kill is inspired off of Danganronpa Again 2, where the killer was like, there was like 2 killers, I believe, in that episode or that chapter, and the way they had done it is they had like killed someone and then cut their body apart and like spread the pieces across these different pedestals. It was such a cool, unique kill. Of course, I wanted to take inspiration off of that with Matt, and so. Why is Tears playing? I hate Tears. I'm sorry. This is my least favorite disc. I'm sorry, dude. That disc sucks, man. Anyways, yeah, crazy kill. I like that one a lot. Let's see what you guys say. Oh, Brickphone was hidden. That's true. I did not have that in my notes. That's crazy. I need to take better notes in the future. Dude. Creator playing right now? That's crazy. Anyways, let's keep going. So day 6, they all exit the caves. They eventually get back to their place. They're all tired. People are dead, and a lot of stuff's happened in the last couple of days. People just want to get over everything, so they call the number, and the person who responds basically tells them, "Hey, you're calling this place called Global Occult of Disposition." And apparently this place has dedicated themselves to stopping anomalies, Massacrade being one of those anomalies. And when they asked the person behind the phone what their name was, they replied with, "My name is John Croissant." Yep, that's right, John Croissant of Season 1. Absolute reveal. And kind of goes to show what happens when you win. Because John Croissant was the only survivor from the first game. Anyways, crazy reveal. John Croissant basically told them, "Hey, so where you are isn't really a place that we can access because you're technically in the clouds." And they're like, "What does that mean?" And then he was like, Massacrade basically built this world and he's hiding it in the clouds. Like, everything around you is in the clouds. And essentially how it works is that Massacrade gains power from souls. He then uses those souls to create this game, make this pocket dimension in the clouds, summon people into it, have them attack and kill each other, and then he feeds off of the agony and the despair from the people playing the games. That's basically Massacrade's whole ordeal, whole thing. That's how he works. John Croissant basically told them, "We'll try to help you, but there's not really much else we can do right now. Good luck." And that was literally it. That was it. And so presumably they had about one more round before the game ended. And so this is really when things started to pick up. Day 6, Botany. Oh wait, sorry. Day 6 started with the reveal of Matt, and they all decided to vote on either. A lot of people voted for Map, and a lot of people voted for Brickphone. However, I Spy played the leader power, which was also a secret power, which allowed them to nullify every vote except their own vote. And they voted for Brickphone. and Brickphone was executed. Brickphone's execution was a pretty fun one for me. Let me pull up the art for that. Basically, what the execution was a game of operation where Brickphone was connected to this machine via wires, and they had to perform operation on themselves. This was based off their own character lore that they had given on the first challenge, where they basically improved all their parts and stuff. I really liked this one. I thought this was such a cool idea. Anytime they had messed up and touched the sides, instead of the light going on, they'd be electrocuted. And so eventually, after a certain amount of time, the room they were in started shaking, and they couldn't like do the pieces anymore. The timer ran out, and they were like electrocuted to death. And that was their execution. Pretty cool. Also, the walls here also inspired off Danganronpa. This was inspired off Danganronpa 2, with the fruit rooms, basically, where all like the fruit would like move up and down, and it was like really kind of hypnotic basically, and it was like kind of sickening to look at. That's what I had for this. I thought it was a pretty cool execution. Also, I used the 3D tool in Adobe, which is notoriously hated and really sucks. I tried my best to use it, but it doesn't line up very well. But yeah, where I keep going, right? Yeah. So Botany that night used or investigated Elliot Lemmings. Oh, that was just because for fun. Yeah. Where were we? You are dead. Why are you still here? Because Sammy Brickphone was the serial killer. The serial killer got past the map. So Map's the last murderer and is also the serial killer now. Everyone knows Map's the killer. There's not really a point to continue. So Elia Lemmings protected I Spy as the bodyguard, and Map attacked Elia Lemmings. No one else played any powers. And that night, or that morning, Elia Lemmings was killed. This, if you were paying attention to the kill from season 1 that never actually happened, is an inspiration from John Croissant's potential death that never actually happened, but this time it actually did happen. And that the name of day 7 was called the end of Camp Alpha Beta, because this was the last round in the game before they also, I never crossed out Matt. How dare you guys never mention that to me. You need to pay attention more. SMH. Anyways, where were we? Yes, that was the last round. And what happened that day is that Ezekiel, everyone thought he had died, but he actually showed up, and he basically told everyone, "Hey guys, I'm back. Also, I know how you could stop Massacrade." And everyone's like, "Eyes emoji?" Like, Basically, what he explained was, Massacrade's gonna make you guys fight to the death. Trinity's gonna make us fight to the death. Anyways, excuse me. Massacrade's gonna make you guys fight to the death. All you have to do is say no. That's it. Just don't do it. No matter what he tells you, no matter what he says, just don't do it. And so everyone is like, all right, bet. So Massacrade shows up, and he's like, well, okay, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself because he hasn't shown up yet. But the round still has to play out. And so that morning, everyone votes on Map. Map is unfortunately executed. Nothing else can really be said there. And now, I'll show you the last execution. Why do I... Oh, I had season 2, so I was showing you guys. So, this is Map's execution. Strings of Sorrow. This one is a really cool one. Basically, what had happened was that the other remaining... the spirits of the other remaining murderers basically puppeted Map on these strings, essentially, in this, like, red place, where they had to... basically, they were being forced to, like, stab and kill people they didn't want to. And eventually all the strings were cut, and they eventually, like, stabbed themselves because of just, like, sheer, like, pain of, like, all the people they killed. Yeah, a pretty brutal one, I'm not gonna lie. That was Map's idea as well. That was Eclipse's idea. Like I said, if you have an idea you wanna play with me, or like, try out, I'll try it. If you're a murderer and you want to like be like, oh, I want this to be the way that someone gets killed, or I want this to be my execution, just let me know and stuff like that. Also, speaking of executions, originally the plan I had for when NWS was killed, their execution, I think originally it was gonna be something along the lines of like they would be forced to. It would have been really similar to the execution from Danganronpa, with the ultimate. I forgot his name, but he's one of the survivors from the first game. The ultimate fortune teller, or like the ultimate psychic or something like that, where like basically NWS was going to be given like 3 doors, and they had to like inspect the doors. One of them would have, or 2 of them would have like hurt them. One of them was safe, but they kept like choosing the wrong door basically until eventually they like fell to their doom or something like that. I don't really have all like the full executions planned for everyone all the time. I usually really get creative when they're supposed to die, which, hindsight 2020, I probably shouldn't do that anymore because it takes forever. But in the future, I'll be a lot more prepared. Anyways, that was the end of the game. What happened was that, of course, Massacrate appears and tells everyone, hey, you're going to have to fight to the death. They all say, no, we don't want to. Massacrate gets really mad. No. He gets really, really mad. He gets so mad to the point where the place around them starts falling apart. And that was actually what Ezekiel told them would happen. He basically said, the place is going to fall apart. That's your plan. That's your way to escape. You're going to have to figure out how to get out of the place. But once he forms these cracks, that will be your way to get out of the pocket dimension. So the cracks start forming. They can start seeing the ground below them, but they're in the sky. They're in the air. If they jump now, they're going to fall to their death. Like, there's no way around it. So as this place starts like falling apart, they see in the distance more clouds rolling in, and these clouds look awfully similar to that of a mansion, almost like a mansion that we've seen before. Because as it's revealed, season 1 was only a couple months before season 2. So these 2 seasons actually happened back to back. And as the clouds roll in, it actually crashes into the clouds they're in now and starts merging together as they see parts from both the camp and the mansion merge together into these Victorian style houses, until eventually all of it settles and they see the world around them for what it is. And it's this weird village that's all cracked and made of parts it's not supposed to. And let me just show you art for that real quick. This is an animation I made. And the shattered village was formed, basically. Parts of the world are cracked, and you could see the clouds underneath the cracks. And when you look down, you can literally see the ground below you, thousands of feet down, like 4,000 or 5,000 feet down. And that is where season 2.5 picks up and where season 2 ends. So yeah, that was the entirety of season 1 and season 2. Sorry that it was kind of chaotic. My notes that I have is very sporadic and kind of bad. I'm going to do a lot better job at taking notes in season 2.5, especially with 18 unique roles, which I can't wait for. But yeah, a couple other stuff. Treehouse and Eye Patch decided not to play in season 2.5, so they will no longer be in the next season. My lore reason for that is that they they jumped into the cracks and they fell to their death. No, I'm kidding. They just went missing, just like everyone else to quit. Technically not quitting, actually. They did play in season 2 up until the end, but they just decided not to continue into season 2.5. But yeah, now everyone's roles are no longer. They don't know what their roles are going to be in season 2.5, and we are waiting on 2 rejoiners that were previously dead. So 2 of these, 10 people could potentially rejoin, and also 2 debuters. And once that happens, season 2.5 is going to start. And let's just say I have a lot of lore planned for that season as well. But yeah, with that out of the way, it's not really much else to talk about. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Thank you for listening to me speak for 2 hours. And yeah, that's objects at the slaughter, the entirety of objects at the slaughter that I can possibly think of off the top of my head. There's of course a lot more lore, and if you go into the channels, like for example, what is it? Freaking, I forgot the name of the channel. Game narration, that has all of the lore. Like if you just scroll through there, you'll just be able to read through all of the lore of every day, everything that's happening, all of the major events essentially. It is described as well as possible. But yeah, thanks for watching. Oh my god. I forgot. You guys are right, yeah. The ritual dagger that Penny had, played it on Brickphone, and Brickphone came back into the game. I forgot to mention that. I am so sorry. Brickphone is alive and well. And the way that the ritual dagger worked was that whoever held onto the ritual dagger and played it, the person they played it on also had the same role. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Brickphone's also in Season 2.5. Apologies. Yeah. Thanks for... Yeah. Speak for 2 more hours? Nah, I'm good. Listen, I'm not checking chat, okay? I'm not checking chat. I forgot. Anyways, see you guys. There's not much else to talk about. Have fun in Season 2.5. There's a lot more roles. Everything's fixed now. No more abysmal